Welcome to the special guest host series of the Trauma Therapist Podcast, where I'm going to be handing over the mic to some incredible guest hosts. In each episode, you'll hear fresh perspectives and unique insights to inform and inspire you, and all the while, keeping the heart of this podcast alive. So sit back and enjoy.
Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everyone, to the Trauma Therapist Podcast with Guy McPherson. I am your guest host, Jenny Hughes, the founder of the Brave Trauma Therapist Collective and a trauma therapist myself. I am joined today by Cesilia González. She is a licensed professional counselor based out of Milwaukee. She is also a certified brain spotting therapist, consultant, and she was the very first bilingual Spanish and English trainer, BIPOC trainer in the United States. And I am so excited to have you here with me. Thank you for joining me today, Ceci.
Hola, Jenny. Thank you for inviting me. My pleasure.
I am so excited to share more about your story and your journey, because you didn't necessarily set out to do all of these things.
I didn't.
Can you give us sort of like the Cliff's Notes version of how you got here?
Wow, it's quite a journey. So first, I grew up in Mexico. I was born and grew up in Mexico, and we moved here to Milwaukee. Milwaukee's been my home for over 20 years now. We moved here when I was 12. So you can imagine the transition. If we look at trauma and what we know about trauma and acculturation, assimilation, adaptation, everything that we know about. I didn't know that back then, but that was part of my story, part of my experience. Went to school, college, life, normal expectations, what I consider normal to be from an immigrant family. This is what you do. You just go and do it.
Yep.
And I did my master's degree, and I was just this love for working with people. Like, it was just something that I could do that. And the process together, I had a very strong and successful role model in college. I did my undergrad at UW-Madison, and Dr. Alberta Gloria was the person that we wanted to connect with. And she was just, again, part of just helping. I took a class that was a requirement, and she was Latina faculty in the counseling psychology. And she said, I have a research group. Why don't you join us? Just come to the meetings. I'm like, okay. And that was my first experience building community and connecting with others and talking about trauma and experiences and normalizing everything that we've gone through. And then I graduated, did my master's, loved the work, and just happened that where I was working, the agency, they had money for training funds. And I said, well, why don't you just take a training? I reached out to my friends. What do? We have money. We need to spend it. And they say, there's this really cool thing. It's called brain spotting. And back in the day, this was over almost 10 years ago. And we had to travel. It was all in person. So we had to wait for the trainer to be in the area. So I waited, and I drove to the training site. Wonderful experience. I was a late driver, so it was my first time taking the highway to go somewhere on my own. So you can imagine all of my notes and everything that I had the GPS, and I had
it wasn't MapQuest.
Everything. I taped out directions, printed them, and posted them on the dashboard just in case. You never know. All of this trauma experience. And when I had my very first diet practice experience with brain spotting, I processed that. I processed that fear of driving on the highway and getting here. And it was just an amazing experience. On my way back, I drove back after 3-day training, so comfortable. I didn't need the dashboard as often. I was not nervous. Actually, I looked out the window, noticed there were other cars and people. There was a view. It was just quite an experience. And I loved it. I loved brain spotting, and I continue using it with all my clients. It was just this amazing experience. Got certified, went through that process. And then during COVID, I ventured and opened in private practice, literally 2 weeks before the world shut down.
Right.
And it was a lot of uncertainty and unknowns, a lot of growth and figuring out what to do, where to go. I started as a solo provider, sharing space with 3 clinicians. So we rotate the time, space. In the meantime, I continue to work with brain spotting, participated with community supporting groups. And then one day, Martha Jacoby, a trainer in New York, she posted on Facebook that she had a training and it was moved to virtual and she needed more assistance. She needed people to support because it was larger than she anticipated. And I'm like, well, I have nothing to do. It's COVID time. I can just jump on Zoom. I love brain spotting. Sure, I'll do it. So I sent her a message and she said, great. She was looking for certified brain spotters. I'm like, great, I'll do this. Like this, here's my certificates, what I have, perfect. And I helped all 3 days. It was just wonderful to connect with people. It was also my first experience with virtual trainings and brain spotting. So it was just a really nice transition, like what that's going to look like, and what that looks in real life. And that happened. A couple of weeks later, she had another training and she sent an email to all the assistants that helped last time. And I said, sure, I can help. But here's my time. I only had specific times available. And she said, sure, come in. Just whenever you're ready. And I remember she sent everyone to the Zoom room. So she gave us our duties. This is what we're going to do. And everyone went out on their way. And she said, Cecilia, don't go anywhere. And I'm like, ooh. Can you imagine?
Like, am I getting sent to the principal's office?
Yes. Virtual, just me and Martha. Can imagine everything that I do something wrong last time, what happened, all of this hypervigilant survival response.
Yep.
I don't know what's going to happen. And she said, have you ever considered becoming a consultant? And I said, well, I thought about it, but it wasn't like something that I considered, just transitioning over in practice. She said, no, I'm opening a group and I would like for you to join and be a consultant. And I said, let me think about it. I've heard it's expensive, like all of this things that I've heard about. And she said, well, yeah, but it's part of your growth and I would love to have you. And I shared with her, I'm opening my business. It's COVID. There's so many things happening. She said, I don't have a problem with that. I'll work with you. I want you in my group.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, thank you. Send me the details. I'll look into it. And I assumed that's it. We're not going to hear about it before, after, like it's just done. And a couple of weeks later, I get a text message. And in the text message, I remember clearly. She said, where are you? You missed the meeting. But it was an
oh my God, it's like
number.
another moment of like.
But it was a no number. I didn't have her registered. I didn't know that it was her. So I blocked it. So I blocked it. Like, I don't know. I don't know what meeting. I don't know what this person is. You just get this random number.
Bam.
Done. And like 2 weeks after that, I get an email from Martha, very lengthy, very clear. Cecilia, you missed the meeting. I haven't received this. We had our first CIT consultant and training meeting, and you weren't here. I need your paperwork. I need this. This is the schedule. And then I realized I blocked her. It was her. So I started that journey. So I immediately sent out everything. I did everything that she needed at the moment. Like she really wants me to have that opportunity to be part of her cohort. when I started working with her, the program, wonderful group of clinicians all over the US, very small. Martha has so much expertise in just preparing us to be a brain spotting consultant. And then I asked her, I was just very curious. Hey, what about our bilingual community? I'm struggling to find us a bilingual clinician. And now in private practice, I use a lot of brain spotting, but I'm also connecting with others in Spanish.
Yep.
And where are those resources? Who do we have? And she said, let's connect you with Glenda Villamarin, our senior trainer in Ecuador. And she said, let's just connect you with her, send her an email. I said, well, I don't have her email. Maybe I can try like Facebook messaging. She said, no, I'll give you her number and her email. Just let her know Martha referred you. Like, this is the plan. And that's it.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And I did. I emailed her and I just said, hey, Glenda, this is Cecilia. Martha referred me. I'm just curious if we can maybe do something in Spanish for the bilingual clinicians here in the US. And Glenda just confirmed it. Just the same response from Martha. I was like, sure, let's do this. Let's schedule it and go for it. And that was that journey of starting and offering spaces, trainings for our bilingual clients, our bilingual clinicians. We had our very first training, we only had 4 participants. We had 4 people join us virtually. They received the manual in Spanish. They received the book in Spanish. They received all of this content and support. And we learned a lot from that space and just connecting with other people using their native language or their native language of their clients. It was just this very open and caring opportunity to grow and deepen our trauma work, deepen our performance work, like everything that we do with brain spotting. So it was just this wonderful experience of how do we do this? How do we get to that space and meet the community?
And, I can't help but notice that throughout this journey that you've been on, you have had really, really important guides through other Latinas, right? Other women who are able to really say, like, I understand. I do not know your life or your experiences, but I am happy to guide you. What was it like to be able to have these women come in and sometimes force themselves into your life? And knowing that a lot of people, especially BIPOC folks, aren't able to access those kinds of supports.
It was definitely a corrective experience. It triggered a lot of my own experiences of what's it like to have a strong Latina like Glenda. And she lives in Ecuador. Like she's not responsible. She was not like in any way mandated to work with me or to do this. There were a lot of things that came up for me that part of that growth as a clinician, as a person, of healing some of those things that I didn't know were there. At one point, I even shared with Martha. I said, Martha, you took a risk with me. And Martha looked at me and she said, I never took a risk. I knew what I was getting. That was not a risk. And to hear that and then have Glenda be that support, be that ongoing, very, very persistent. Yes, we only had 4 participants, and I thought maybe we failed because I don't know. I've gone to trainings where we had 30, 50 people. I don't know. And she said, no, we're planting those seeds. Like, this is where we need to be. We just need to reach out to them. We need to start building those spaces. So it was just this very deep healing opportunity. And as I was doing that, Jenny, I was just thinking of how can I continue to pass this on to others? How can I continue to create those spaces for others?
So that they too can move from viewing and experiencing themselves as a risk that someone's going to take, and moving into knowing how powerful they are, what a strong healer they are, and that they don't have to do it by themselves, that there are other people there right alongside them.
And that they are healthy, supportive, strong people. Connecting with Glenda, connected with other BIPOC clinicians, connected with the BIPOC trainers. It was just creating the space of now we have something that we can continue to work and build on.
Mm-hmm.
And Martha did a wonderful job too. Once I transitioned to working with the BIPOC community, working with very side by side with Glenda, Martha kind of stepped aside. Like, this is where I'm done. I did. This is what I was next step.
Yep.
Now you figure it out with all the support that you have. So it was this very caring, again, passing on of like, this is what we do. And that's what we do with our clients. That's what we do with our work. That's what we do as people in general. How can I have those relationships?
And I'm guessing, and I sort of have a little insider knowledge of knowing that you get to do this for fellow BIPOC clinicians now too. What's that like for you to know that you are now in this role of guiding them and handing things off to them when you know they're ready, even if they aren't quite sure?
It's amazing. It's just so much healing and rewarding. I started doing that when I graduated as a brain spotting consultant. So I completed the training with Martha, and then I joined the Spanish CIT program with Glenda. So I did,
and you did that one all the way through, right? So you've done the CIT in both English and in Spanish.
Yes. So learning brain spotting really in Spanish.
Yeah.
Directly from learning from Glenda. And when I graduated the programs, I opened the first bilingual support group for clinicians who are trained in brain spotting or who want to learn more about brain spotting, who never heard about, people who want to build a community. We're here. And that was my very first experience, providing that space, providing the support for them. The support group started as a monthly group, and we would meet for 2 hours. We'll do 1 hour of questions connecting, and then 1 hour of brain spotting sessions. Cool. And we had a lot of times we had demos. So, for example, I would ask them, what do you want to know or what do you want to do for next month? And they're like, well, we're curious about what brain spotting looks like working with athletes. Perfect. So I would find an athlete who has received or has not received brain spotting before, and I would invite them to come in and be a demo. And I will do the brain spotting demo. This is what we do. So it was just that space of listening to them. This is what they need. This is what they're asking. Like, it's going to provide their connection and supporting them. Kind of what I received that support, and now I'm passing it out. Like, this is what we're going to do. When working with children or working with trauma, single event or ongoing, it was just this beautiful discussions that we can have and sharing their experience, validating their wisdom too, from many trainings and many years of experience in the field. It was just this wonderful space to create safety for everyone and to create that space of, I can do this. The space. We have people all over the country who join the space. We have people connect with virtually, and when they will travel, they will meet in person. So it's just this powerful chain of relationships and what that looks like in the space. I continue to have the support group. We do it quarterly. It's an amazing experience. It's very flexible with what the group wants or needs. We've had moments, we had a space where it's only in Spanish and we talk about brain spotting in Spanish. We have meetings where we just talk about how wonderful or how challenging it was. where we talk about everything that's happening in the world and how it's impacting us. It's this lovely community where we come together and we're just here for one another, validating each other. And of course, I talk about brace body, and as the trainer, I bring a lot more of the, maybe we can try this thing, or maybe we should, let's go back to the basics. But it's just this a space where I continue to empower others to feel confident, to feel comfortable in who they are as a person, who they are as a clinician.
And on that, as we come close to our end here, just honoring our time together, what is that number one thing that you want trauma therapists listening to know, whether they're a brain spotter or not? What do you think is the one takeaway, the one thing that you want all of our listeners to know right now?
Oh, something that we always talk about, and I teach and emphasize this in the brain spotting trainings. I do trainings both in English and Spanish and bilingual. I do them in person, I do them virtual. And the one thing that it's always consistent across all of them, and I take this from David too in our brain spotting, our biggest intervention is our presence.
Yep.
And I see that when I show up into the support group, when we open up spaces, our biggest intervention, our biggest intervention that we can do is just being there, just showing up.
And that's something that we can all do as trauma therapists, whether we are brain spotting or not, right?
Exactly.
So tell us more about how people can find you and especially find the support group.
Yes. So the easiest way with my website,
which will be linked in the show notes for everyone listening.
So Growing Mindful Psychotherapy. In my website, it's yes. Thank you. Yes.
growingmindfulpsychotherapy.com.
Yes, I had to think about it. My website is also in English, and then there is a tab all Spanish. Exactly. So everything is there. I have information about the trainings, information about consultations, or just the work that we do. So now I have a group practice. So I've expanded from solo to now I have employees, and we offer and provide additional support to our community. There's also the registration for our support group, which again, it's open to anyone who works with brain spotting or wants to learn about brain spotting, has questions, or just wants to be part of the community and building that space. Come join us. You can stay for as long as you are able to, or leave when you need to. We know we have busy schedules, but we're here for you. Again, we are creating that space and our presence.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ceci. This has been such a nourishing conversation, and to be able to receive your story again, I can feel it, right here in my body, and the way that it helps to fill me up to know that again about you, right? When we get to hear stories over and over again, they expand and then they deepen our connection. So I'm so grateful for your time with us and for being my guest. Again, all the listeners go to growingmindfulpsychotherapy.com and you can learn all the things. Thank you, Ceci.
Thank you, Jenny.